Hi, and thanks for joining me for this session of Basecamp. Today we're going to be looking at Cimmaron software. Cimmaron, for those of you that don't know, is our contact management system used by all Mountain West financial loan officers. Some of the benefits of Cimmaron are that it syncs with LendingQB, and it also was syncing with Point if you were with us back when we were using Point. So automatically, as we're working through leads or loans in the system, those are going to transfer over to Cimmaron and assign different campaigns as we work through the process. It's also going to pull over any realtors or loan-related contacts that you had in the Cardex and Point or that you have in the agent screen in LendingQB. So I'm not going to get too much into this right now. I do want to remind you that if you want to learn more on Cimmaron, some of the advanced features, we have a great training library available on the intranet. Just go to the marketing page of the intranet and look for the section that says Cimmaron, and it'll take you to a link to all the different training. What we're going to look at today is we're going to expand a little bit on what Joe just taught us about our sphere of influence, and we're going to look at how to input all those people we want to connect with into Cimmaron so that we can start doing some marketing to them. I'm also going to look at how to navigate through all the clients you have in there and how once you have your sphere of influence in there, how we're going to look for them and be able to kind of slice and dice that information. So first of all, the first question is, how do you get to Cimmaron? Cimmaron is an icon on your desktop, and I'm going to highlight it right here. If you do not have this icon on your desktop for whatever reason, not to fret, just email support@mtgwks.com, our IT here at Mountain West Financial, and let them know that you need access to Cimmaron software. Second, when you double-click this, it's going to ask you for a username and password. If you have misplaced that or need any help resetting your password, email my team, marketing@mwfinc.com, and we'd be happy to reset that for you. So once you log into Cimmaron, you will see a screen similar to this. I'm going to walk you through this main page here called your dashboard. Again, we're not going to get too deep into it. I just want to give you a little bit of a taste since this will be your first screen. Your dashboard is a representation of your entire database within Cimmaron. So for example, this top left-hand corner says new leads. This refers to anybody who is in new lead status. This will make a little bit more sense when we get into actually adding contacts. Your contact pipeline, this is a visual representation of all of the contacts you have within Cimmaron, and this will refer to, again, to what status they're in. So not just clients, referral partners, realtors, all those sort of things are going to be here. Your to-do lists are going to be any activities that were either automatically assigned or that you can assign on demand and associate a specific date to them. And these are things not like emails or postcards or something that the system does automatically. These are going to be things that require your attention. So phone calls, letters. Again, this is a little bit more of an advanced feature, but just want to let you know what's in there. So how we get to our contacts, first of all, there's two menus within Cimmaron. My mouse is hovering over this bottom left menu right now. This changes the features up above it. So we always want to be in main when we're talking about our clients. We have a contact finder. When we get to that screen, it takes us to a blank screen, looks just like this. If we just go to the right-hand side and hit Find Now, it's going to find anybody who's associated with me. Now, by searching through other things, for example, first name, last name, status, once you have some of your statuses cleaned up, you can use this status, and we could just look at people in a borrower status. I shouldn't have anybody come up, but oh, I have one person. Okay. So again, this helps you, and you can layer these on top of each other. So for example, if you're trying to look for somebody with the last name Smith, who you know is a closed loan or you know is a realtor, you can add multiple layers, hit Find Now, and it'll bring up anybody who meets that criteria. Again, if you put nothing in here, it's going to default to your name and your branch. You hit Find Now, and it's going to bring up everybody in your database. So to open up a contact, you would just double-click on the name. Now your screen may look different than mine right now. What there are up in the top menu bar here, there's these little they look like game pieces on a piece of paper, and it says available views. Most likely you're on the full view. One of the things that I hear about Cimmaron quite often, and it's a very, very valid feedback on the system, is that sometimes it's a little bit complicated because you just have so much that you're seeing. So what I love to do is change this available view. The system's going to remember what you selected, and the next time it'll show you. So the contact full view is great. It's going to have everything you need from your general. You can put in some loan scenarios. If there are loans in LendingQB or Point, that's going to be in this tab. Your activities tab, files tab, custom fields, and social media. So as you can see, there's a lot here. One of the views that I tend to like is either the Contact Quick View. The reason I like the Contact Quick View is it's much more condensed, a little bit shorter. It shows me if I need to contact somebody or I want to start making some phone calls or I want to see a little bit of information, not necessarily loan-specific information, but just information about the clients. It's going to give me everything I need just to go out and contact that person, including a notes panel down here on the bottom right. I can assign phone calls, emails, so pretty much everything you would need is going to be here. Again, depending on what you're looking for. If you want to start looking at past loans and that sort of thing, most likely the full view is going to be most beneficial for you. Or the mortgage application view. This a lot of folks like as they're entering people because it follows page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4 of the loan application. So find the one that works best for you. That's the first thing that I always love to tell somebody. When you find the one that works best for you, you will have much better success actually getting through the system and understanding it. So find the one that works best, but just know that you can switch back and forth depending on what you're looking for. So I'm going to add a new contact. This is what we want you guys to do with your sphere of influence that Joe just helped you kind of identify. This is where we want to help you put them in. Don't forget that automatically every month we have newsletters going out. We have a version for your borrowers and clients, prospective clients, and a version for your business partners, your realtors, any loan-related contacts, referral partners that you have. So we already have a bunch of stuff going out just because you have names and email addresses in here. Now you'll notice I said names and email addresses. Cimmaron without an email address is not going to be that valuable to you because we can't help you market to them. Now, that's not to say that if you don't have phone numbers and those sort of things that you can't do it, but my team can't help you unless there's an email address in here. So I just want to make that distinction now. So we're going to go into add a contact. As you can see here, all of the things that are in bold, these are what you would need to be able to save that contact. So in this case, we're going to need a first name, a last name, a salutation, and just as a reminder, I'm in the quick view right now, so if you're in a different view, it's going to look slightly different. First name, last name, the salutation is going to automatically populate. So if we say John and Smith, and again, another tip for getting through this a little bit quicker, as you finish the field you're on, if you hit the tab button on your keyboard, it's going to go down to the next field. So that might help you speed up this input a little bit quicker. So Bob is a, let's say he's a realtor. He works for RE/MAX. Maybe I have his website, maybe I don't. At this point, I'm just kind of looking at my sphere of influence. So the owner, this is going to default to your name. What that means is that this contact is associated with you. So if you're working in a team, you might be able to drop that down and select other people. For example, John is on my team. So I could also add contacts to John's database. Now this status, this is what we were looking at the very beginning screen, this dashboard over here. I'm going to go back to it real quick, where the new leads that are here are new lead status and that contact pipeline. So status is going to be very important. It's important for a few reasons. One, it's what we're looking at when we're sending out your newsletters. We look to see which status those clients are in to make sure that they get the appropriate content. It also will help you, as you're looking to do some additional marketing to your database, be able to really pull apart the different groups of people and make sure that your message is very targeted. So statuses, there's quite a few in here actually. Let me scroll up to the top. Depending on what level you're using Cimmaron to, you can say active, attempted, borrower, branch manager. So you can, I'm not going to read all these to you. Take the time to kind of go through here and see which ones make sense to you. A lot of the in-loan statuses that you're seeing here, for example, closed loan, that's going to happen automatically if this is a lead in LendingQB or a loan within LendingQB. When it's funded, it's going to automatically change to closed loan. So some of these statuses won't make sense for your initial input. Just know that's because LendingQB is using some of these as well. So he might be, as a realtor, I could choose to list him as a loan-related contact. A loan-related contact in our case is what LendingQB is pulling over. So if you have somebody listed in the agent screen in LendingQB and or they were in the Cardex in Point, they're going to come over as a loan-related contact. And we use some of these interchangeably. So that's a loan-related contact. Your other options that would be appropriate for realtor might be realtor or, oops, drop that down, or referral partner. So again, you can choose to use these to whatever level makes sense for you. Make sure that you kind of spend a little bit of time going through these and build yourself a plan, because that way when you start using this consistently in the same way, you're putting in the same statuses for the same type of people, then it's going to help you mine your database later. We actually have status descriptions within each different status as well. So for example, for a referral partner, we have these specific status descriptions relating to referral partner. So we may know that they are a stage 1, a stage 2, that you're currently pursuing them, that they're a proven business builder. So again, you can use the status description and you can add to these as well. This isn't necessary for the newsletters and the holiday videos and those sort of things, but again, the more detailed and specific you can be, the more you can really extrapolate this data and get to a very specific audience down the road. This wouldn't necessarily make sense for, well, actually it might, depending on how this person came to you. You have a lead source, and it could be through family, friend, LinkedIn, referral partners, real estate agents, self-generated. So again, explore some of these and use whichever ones make sense to you. If you are talking with a borrower or referral partner and you know that they always like to be sent to their business email and they always like things on Saturday or whatever that information is, again, complete these to the best of your ability, because this will help you down the line. If you were able to get a date of birth, and kind of just a quick tip on specifically realtors, especially even if they're already in the system. If you go on to maybe Facebook, sometimes LinkedIn, a lot of times people will have their birthdays listed. So even if they're an existing contact in your database today, spend a few minutes, go online, do a little bit of research about them, get their birth date. You don't need the year, you just need the month and date. As long as the birth date is in there and an email address is in there, they're automatically going to get a happy birthday email from you on their birthday. So that's just kind of a little bit of an advanced tip. That's coming over automatically, again, for any loans that are in the system. Borrower and co-borrower both are getting emails from you, but that's just a little added tip for your referral partners. Okay, so on the right-hand side here, and again, depending on which view you're looking at, this might look slightly different. But we have two different options for email addresses. You can do as few as one and as many as two and actually decide which one they prefer. So if you know, for example, that they prefer their business one, you can hit that little check mark on the right-hand side, and as you see, it's bolded that. So that's going to mean when we are sending out emails, it's going to go to the preferred email system. But great thing if you have two, especially for realtors, as I'm sure many of you guys know, they tend to jump around a little bit. And if they are in a with a broker who insists that they use that broker's email addresses and not a personal email address, then you may want to have two just in case down the road they move, you don't know how to get in contact with them, or you have a bad email address. No problem, let's switch to their personal one and see if we can get an updated email address for them. Under the phone numbers, you have a lot of different options here, home, business, mobile, fax, other, and again, you can distinguish which one, if they like their cell phone, which one is their preferred one. Address type here, if you drop down where it says address type home, it gives you a few different options. So if you are working with clients who have a home address, maybe they purchased a second home, so you know that their mailing address is different, you can use this other, or maybe they have a P.O. box, for example. You can use this other and distinguish as which one is the mailing address. So that's really important if you're ever going to use the system to do things like sending out letters or postcards. Finally, on the right-hand side here, and I'm not going to get too much into activities today. Again, there's a great training resource library. I just want to show you a little bit of what's available. These are where you could send out specific things. This is John Smith, the realtor, and I want to circle back with John maybe in a week. So I can press the phone call button. This is going to, let me go back to this dashboard one more time, this to-do list here. This is feeding off of the individual contacts. So let's say I want to give John Smith, the realtor, a call. I want to do it in a week, and I want to give him a call maybe I'm scheduling my Friday, Monday calls here. So maybe I want to give him a call at 10 a.m. So I have plenty of time if I need to help him produce some marketing material for the weekend or that sort of thing, plenty of time for myself. I could put any activity text in here. This is similar to Outlook. And again, you can add these to your Outlook calendar as well. This is just while you're in the system. So depending on the level that you really want to get into Cimmaron, this may be a good output for you as well. and hit OK. So what this allows you to do is on May 6th, next Friday, happens to be next Friday, but whatever a week from today is, this is automatically going to go, again, I'm going to switch over to my dashboard, onto my to-do list. When I've made that call next week, I can double click it from the to-do list, open up my contact, and mark it as complete. So what it does is it gives you a due date, and it also gives you a date complete. Now that's because I had to make the call. If I'm doing something, for example, like sending an email, which I can't do because I don't have an email address in here. So let's get an email address in here real quick. johnsmith@gmail.com. Poor John Smith. I'm sure he gets a lot of emails. Okay, let me save that. Something I neglected to mention earlier, this little floppy disk icon up here is the save button, or you can hit, as you can see, Control-S to save. So make sure you do that. The system will kind of let you know if you switch from one contact to another and you haven't saved it. It'll give you a little pop-up letting you know that it hasn't been saved yet. Okay, so now let's look at an email. Similar to how Outlook works, just know that my account is a general account, so your information would actually be down here instead of General Mountain West. And something I also forgot to mention, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get through all this, is that any of the emails that are coming out of Cimmaron are going out on behalf of your Mountain West Financial email. So this is not a system that you have to log in and look for replies or follow up through here. Anybody who replies to your email, they are going to automatically go back to your Outlook and to your phone if you have your emails on your phone. Okay, so how does this work? And how is this different than Outlook? Outlook, I love Outlook. I use Outlook. I'm sure you guys do too. All day, every day, 7 days a week. What I love about this is this allows me to pre-send emails, for lack of a better term. So assign to, again, this is going to default to me. If you are working in a team atmosphere, you may want to assign to John Katie, for example. So I may want to send an email from John. That only works in certain circumstances, but that essentially what that means. We get to choose a date. So maybe I want to follow up with John a week minus a day, and I want to follow up with him at, let's say, 7:30 in the morning. It's going to John Smith. We have our subject line. Maybe I want to remind him of our phone call coming up the next day. So phone call reminder. And when I go into my email here, as you can see, it's pre-populated John's name and my email signature name. You have different templates that you can choose from as well to change up the look of this. But now I compose an email, and maybe I say, John, really looking forward to our call at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Just wanted to follow up, making sure that that time still works for you. Now what I can do once I'm done is I hit OK to send. I'm not going to do that now because this is obviously a fake client. So maybe add yourself into the system so you can test some of this functionality. But hit OK to send. So now in a week minus a day, John is going to get an email from me reminding him of our call on Friday. Now I've already put that phone call on Friday either in Cimmaron and or in my Outlook calendar depending on which system I'm using. So now I've followed up before and I have my call followed up in a week. And a week is a short timeline. Say you're talking to a borrower who says, I'm really not sure. Give me, I don't know, can you follow up with me next month maybe? How are you tracking that now? Are you putting it on a Post-it note? Are you writing it in a to-do list? How are you tracking that now? Wouldn't it be great to go into Cimmaron and pre-designate that phone call and or your Outlook calendar, pre-designate that phone call so that you know you are going to do what you said you were going to do. That's going to be really, really important, and this system is going to help you make look great. It's going to help you stick to all your commitments. Anything that you said you were going to do, if you commit it to here and you follow Cimmaron, you log in, you clean out your to-do list, or you put those contacts and those appointments on your Outlook calendar. And sometimes you might want to do both, depending, again, if I'm going to call somebody on a Saturday, I probably want it on my Outlook calendar so that it goes to my phone as well. So I know Angela gave you some great tips on Outlook. If you missed some of those, make sure you go back and rewatch that. There's a lot of valuable information and some great tools within Outlook as well. So that concludes our Cimmaron training. As I mentioned, we're just scratching the surface here. So if you have additional questions, reach out to anybody on my team. Email us at marketing@mwfinc.com, or make sure you go onto the internet, go to the marketing department page, and there's a full training library. And we break Cimmaron down, not a 4-hour end-to-end training, but little bite-sized segments. So if maybe 2 weeks from now you've forgotten how to use the contact finder tool, go and watch that video because it's only a 2 to 3 minute video and it focuses just on that one thing. So with that, I'm going to leave you for today. Do make sure that you start inputting people in here. I'm sure Joe already alluded to this month's contest being who can get the most names into their database. And not just names as well. I'm going to be looking for names and email addresses. So I want to help you be successful. Let's get a lot of names and email addresses in this month. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out and either by email or by phone. Thanks and have a great day.